All right, welcome back. Here we are, beautiful Las Vegas. Camping World's right across the street. One of my favorite dealerships because they have this huge dirt lot where it's quiet and peaceful. Well, it was the last time I was here 3 years ago. Those guys weren't over there doing that. But trucks are running phenomenally. Got this one that, like I said, delivering first thing in the morning. Got dispatched on another one, take me down into Texas. And then from there, probably just going to end up deadheading, unfortunately, all the way to Indiana. And hopefully there's something there. I mean, if you're in Texas, it just kind of makes sense to get over to Indiana, right? So hopefully I can get some Western load that'll make this an amazing week. So we'll cross our fingers for that, okay? Anyway, just wanted to get this video rolling since I sat at home for 3 days because they said that Camping World wasn't taking anything until tomorrow, Wednesday. And then right after I buy my Nevada permit on Monday for today, Tuesday, we get the alert on the app that says, hey, audit's over, they're taking units. That would have been good to know since it was 11 a.m. I could have drove all the way down here and then delivered it first thing this morning and then shot back up to grab the next one. That would have been nice. But I already bought the permit and you can't change the date on those. So I was locked into traveling today because Nevada's permit's only good for 24 hours. So here we are. Got a buddy of mine from Boise, that you've heard me talk about, that kind of helped me with all the transmission issues when this thing was having them. Got him with me. He lives, like I said, about 20 minutes away from me, so we just drove down together today. And we'll see what happens with tomorrow. I'm gonna get the truck ready, I'm gonna bed myself down, and then in the morning, go get this thing dropped off, and I'll see you guys probably when I'm picking up the next unit. Well, good morning. Down here in Utah, just got onto Highway 6. The 15 is just a couple miles back that way. I was planning to make it a little bit further. There's a rest area about 20 or so miles up the road, and that was my intention. But traffic and whatnot kind of slowed me down, so I ended up here on the shoulder on the side of the road. My 10 hours is just about up, so here in just a minute, I'll go ahead and knock out the pre-trip, start the truck, finish the pre-trip, let it warm up, get on the road, get going. Got this guy hooked up last night, taking it down to Texas. Most likely gonna just head to Indiana from there. Probably, just because you're in Texas. You know what I mean? Load board will dictate, obviously. If something great comes up, but I'm betting that I just end up deadheading to Indiana. So with that, I'm gonna go get the truck ready, and I'll see you guys in New Mexico, probably. Isn't that beautiful? I'll tell you, I like the open road. You know, I like traveling around and seeing new things. But in all my years doing this, by far, the best thing I get out of this job is just waking up in the morning, seeing the sun come up, and seeing some of this beautiful, beautiful countryside we have. Anyway, I think I'm starting to come down with something. Wife was a little bit sick right when I left. I think I might have caught a tickle of her bug. Anyway, we're here in New Mexico, right about just under 2 hours from delivery. So we'll get this thing off our back and called my dispatcher this morning. She doesn't have something set up, a nice west run. I'm on the list. We'll hope maybe something comes up. But I'm going to keep an eye on the reload board. But unless something really good pops out of the reload board, I think I'm going to deadhead to Indiana. You know, because I'm 2 days. I'll be 2 day deadhead to Indiana for a nice westerly run, you know, $3,000 or more. Or 2 day deadhead home. And I get $1,000, you know what I mean? Like it makes sense. So I think, unless I'm gonna keep an eye on the reload board, unless something comes up, I think that just makes sense. And that's the game you play in this job. You know where your yards are. Pay attention to what the board's telling you. And I think that's the best advice I can give for being productive in this job. Let the board tell you where you're going. I've said that 100 times. But you have to understand the way this job works. You have to understand where all of your yards are and know which areas typically will have loads coming up that, you know, maybe other areas won't. Like, I know California, not a good place to get a reload out of. Arizona, pretty good place to get a reload out of. That kind of stuff. So, my 10 hours is just about up. It is freezing cold. I'm going to start my pre-trip so I can start the engine. Get some heat in this thing. Finish up the pre-trip and get rolling. Get this delivered and figure out what I'm doing next. So, with that, I'll see you guys as soon as I figure out whether I'm going west or east. All right, so here's where we are. Camping World is right there. Went and made that delivery. Shout over here to the pilot. Took a shower. Came over here, grabbed some lunch, breakfast, whatever you want to call it. And dispatcher in Indiana still has nothing. Now, it's 1,539 miles to Indiana, and then it's 1,200 miles home, but only 1,040 something to Hanson. And I know there's work in Hanson. I've already spoke to the Oregon dispatcher, and there's work there. So I could go to Indiana, and I could roll the dice that something might appear in the next couple hours. It's already after 1 o'clock over there, but not looking positive on that. As far as the dispatcher's telling me, it doesn't look good. And she said maybe Monday, maybe not. It's not looking good, which makes sense. You know, everyone coming off of Thanksgiving, everyone getting ready to take some time off again for Christmas, so everyone's out running hard right now. So, knowing that there's work out of Idaho, and knowing that it sounds like there's going to be a good bit coming out of Idaho, I think that's my play. It's less miles, it's guaranteed work. Or I could go there to Indiana, I'd get there Sunday morning, start my reset, which would be up by Monday night, and maybe there's a load, maybe there's not. It's also -4, I believe, in Indiana, and Wyoming's supposed to get shut down real bad for wind and snowstorms, and I'm seeing a lot of reasons to go west, which sucks, because this could have been a really good week. But at the end of the day, financially it makes more sense to go to Idaho. The loads don't pay as well, they're less rate per mile, and they're less miles, and that's just a guarantee every time. But right now, with the way the load boards are, which, by the way, that's starting to get concerning. Like, we should have been doing exponentially more work than we are by now. That's really, really not good. So that's something to be mindful of too. You know, if you're thinking about getting into this, now might not be that time. Now might not be the time. All right, I'm gonna hop in the truck, crank her up, and start rolling. And I'll pick this. Well, nope, this is gonna be the end of this video. So I'll start the next video as I'm picking up my next load, probably in the Hanson yard. So with that, as always, I appreciate you guys coming on this journey with me. For those of you out on the roads, I wish you fair winds and following seas. Take care, and have a great day.